Listen up, Earth Angels. You are moving on to peace, clarity, and burning passion. Ooh, you're going through this healing process, and I want you to be gentle with yourself and patient with yourself as you are going through it. But you're going to get through it. Okay. So, um, I recently, my friend has been going through a breakup, and she asked me for some advice, some guidance on how to move through and let go of this old relationship, old identities, old um, environments, just old situations, how to let go and move on. And so if that sounds like something you would be interested in, stick around, babe, because as I was listening to a voice note of her giving me the information, I was just absent-mindedly like pulling cards from this deck and like spirit's got a message for us, okay? So, got my little guidebook just in case. So, first of all, you are going through a loss, a breakup, maybe grief, um, and it could involve some, betrayal, but there's like despair. There's been a painful ending. And so 10 of swords, 10 of blades is about painful endings and uh the dawn beyond despair. All right? It marks rock bottom, betrayal, burnout, or emotional collapse. Yet it is also the promise of renewal. Okay? So, yeah, it teaches acceptance, surrender, clears the way for rebirth. So, you see this person, they got all these little Celtic short knives sticking out of their back, and, their shadow is, coming apart behind them. They're pinned to the ground, stuck in this loss. And it can feel really dark and like, you can't find a way out. But yeah, a golden horizon rises in the distance. You're asked to trust that loss carries wisdom and endings cleanse stagnation. So you see these knives stuck in their back, pinning them down, keeping them stuck. So you're going to have to let go of these in order to move on and heal and resurrect, go on to bigger and better things. And so you keep turning towards the sun. Um, it can be tempting to get caught up in victimhood and, which develops into like a learned helplessness. So, like, woe is me, like, oh my gosh. And you're ruminating on all the things. But, babe, come on. Come on. Don't let the dessert of despair have the final word. Ooh, I love that. Yeah, like the person, the situation that hurt you kind of wins if they're able to keep you stuck on that same level and that same mindset where you were first injured. So, babe, got to keep moving. It's hard to heal in the place where you were first injured, traumatized, held back. So, take out these knives, turn towards the sun, examine your patterns of thought. What's the relationship between your mind, your body, and your heart? Take breaks from the grief, don't get too caught up in the grief. So, yeah, accept closure. Don't reopen what's meant to rest. I know that can be very tempting, especially when we're going through a breakup, to be like, have I, done all the, have I tried all that I can? Maybe I should have done this, or maybe I should have given them a chance, or maybe like, but like, girl, come on, you got to keep it moving. Um, Let forgiveness free you faster than anger can, and begin again with gentleness. Okay, rebirth requires patience. And that's what you're going through. Turning towards the sun. The sun is rising again, but as the sun comes up, it starts to shine a light on the shadow. You can see the shadows. So you have been having some anxiety, guilt, overthinking, mental anguish, maybe some sleepless nights where you're going back and forth about, like, oh, did I do the right thing? So this is like magnifying the shadows that maybe when you were going through this fight of this old situation, you didn't really have the chance to like sit and see what was really underneath. So now, you know, your fears are being exposed and they're asking for acknowledgement, not avoidance. You may carry regret, pressure, or emotional exhaustion, but awareness itself is healing. Naming fears reduces their control. So when you get caught up in these thoughts, remember that thoughts are echoes, not prophecy. They're not saying like what is going to happen. They're just, the result of your old assumptions. And now that you are letting go of this old identity, your old assumptions are still clinging, okay? They're still holding on. But when you face these thoughts, these fears, you reclaim rest and peace. So you're going to be already moving on, getting your peace back by letting go of these things. This reading was super interesting. It's all swords, and the last one is spirals, which is wands. So very masculine energy. Do with that what you will. It's very kind of action oriented intellect. So yeah, it might help you to journal about your worries before bed so you can just like release them from your body. So you're not just like thinking about them, keeping yourself in this mental prison. Replace rumination with gentle self-talk. And remember that peace is practiced, not found. So don't be like, oh, where is peace? Where is peace? Babe, it is something that you actively practice. So devote yourself to this practice, right? Because you are on your self-healing journey. Woo, journal, girl. So 6 of Swords. I love this. Oh my God, getting so messy already. Isn't that how healing is? So 6 of Swords. The 6 of Swords depicts transition, healing, and moving on to calmer waters. So you've had this loss, this breakup, and you are letting go. You're grieving, but you are letting go. You're trying to face the fears and the shame and the anxiety that's coming up, replacing it with gentle self-talk. And yeah, this is all part of your healing journey. And you might be going into the unknown, but trust that you're going to end up in peace. The destination of your healing journey is peace. So yeah, this is the journey from turmoil to clarity, both mentally and emotionally. You're leaving behind difficulty not as escape, but as conscious evolution. Ooh. Guidance may come through therapy or honest conversations or travel. The passage might feel uncertain, but the destination holds peace. The 6 reminds you that healing requires motion. By choosing calm over chaos, you claim sovereignty of mind. So again, it's choosing the peace. Swords is about like mental prisons and like, these are thoughts that you have. And so you have the cure to it. So prioritize emotional boundaries during a transition. If you see this like astronaut lady is floating and she's being carried by balloons that are actually brass knuckles, And so you're going to want to have boundaries during your transitions. Um, Yeah, the journey toward collective joy and ease is not passive, babe. Even though I like on this one, usually on the Six of Swords, it's someone rowing a boat towards like in calm waters. But this is even more like about surrender. All she's got to do is hold on, and the balloon's spirit, air, is carrying her where she needs to go. So, what adaptations no longer serve you? Ooh, what healing thresholds are you being asked to cross? Mm. So, yeah, your healing journey might look different now than it has at any other time in your life. So you might also, so you're definitely going to be focusing on progress, not perfection, because like I definitely can tend towards perfectionism sometimes. It's a little comforting to feel like I have control over how long I do something or what I should be doing. Oof, you don't want to should all over yourself. I should be doing this, I should be doing that. Just go with it, okay? Focus on progress, not perfection. Calm, peace arrives gradually. You know, she's not going to be able to rush this balloon ride to healing, and neither can you. But you can seek guidance from mentors or therapists if you need. I have a really amazing therapist, but I myself am also, a bit of a counselor, which is why actually my friend came to me with this. And like spirit is saying, yeah, that's right. You're on the right track. The healer of blades, the what is healer of blades? It's like queen of swords is strategic. Hold on, let me see what this thing says. Ooh. Yeah, wisdom sharpened by experience. So I feel like this card like both applies to you and it applies to whatever the mentor or guide that you're seeking who is just, very strategic. I'm feeling in this it's like going from kind of surrendering, and going with this process, this flow, and now you're getting more strategic with things while still having compassion. So, yeah, this is, oh wait, no, that's the wrong card. Where we're going? We're going, here we go, Healer of Blades. Yeah, so this is both you and the people who you're going to for guidance. So it might be me who you're going to for guidance. I get that, definitely. Actually, that reminds me, if you want a personal reading or you want to work with me in other ways, I also have a spark sesh and an all in. I have several different offerings. But head on over to my website, seelikesheba.com, and yeah, check out those offerings. But anyway, supportive and strategic, the healer is about passionate, protective, ferocious care. Mm. They've emerged on the other side of acute suffering and can now offer clear insight. So that is both someone like me and someone who, you're being called to uh, seek out, to consult with. But, you know, everyone is just a reflection of you. Everyone is just you pushed out. And you have everything you need inside of you. So, this is also you, especially if you stayed with me this long and you're, resonating with this message. So they've emerged on the other side of acute suffering and can now offer clear insight. So all of this acute suffering you've been to, you've risen above it. And now you have wisdom and insight to offer yourself and others. So make sure you're like basking in the wisdom that you've gained. It wasn't just, like sometimes we can think when there's a breakup or a loss or a change, it's like, oh, we wasted this time. Like, no, you didn't. You learned so many lessons. You're so much stronger. You're so much cooler. You're so much like you're on the next level now. So bask in the hard-won wisdom that you gained. Nothing was punishment. Everything was just a lesson to help you. So make sure you know your capacity, though, and make sure you're seeking out someone who knows how to stay true to themselves, even while tending to others. So, yeah, this is about innovation arriving in the form of care. So, yeah, seek out forms of healing and guidance that you maybe didn't give yourself permission to before. Maybe you were a little tethered to the old ways of doing things, and maybe this you've never given yourself a chance to do therapy, like with a therapist, or you've had one and it didn't go well, and you're like, never again. Now maybe it's the time to revisit that. But yeah, as this one was talking about, healing can, guidance on your healing journey can come in the form of therapy, honest conversations with a brilliant counselor, like myself or someone like me, travel. There's lots of healing modalities. So, yeah, see what you're trying to do now. Look for right sized opportunities that allow you to give your wisdom away. What new shapes of care and collective healing can we imagine? Yeah, because you're also your own first teacher. So sometimes it can be tempting to seek outside of ourselves constantly, but it doesn't matter what anyone else says, really. Like, if it doesn't resonate with you, it's not for you. So, yeah, you're going to someone who is discerning yet fair, someone who has like honesty, objectivity, and communication that balances empathy and logic. Did I tell you guys that I am a transformation specialist, sovereignty coach, and ex lawyer? So I be bridging, the mystical and the practical, the magical and the strategic. So it's giving Queen of Swords, Healer of Swords. So this card is inviting you to cut through confusion and speak truth compassionately. Honor emotional depth, but don't be ruled by it. So you're looking for someone who values authenticity over flattery, like myself. My last name is actually Blunt. Isn't that crazy? Literally, I am the bluntest. So in career, she represents sound judgment and integrity. Again, ex-lawyer, who left because I was like, injustice is afoot and we got to do something, and they weren't trying to do it. So I was like, okay, I got to get out of here. I got to move on out. Have these strict boundaries. Sorry, goodbye. Sorry, not sorry. Anyway, the presence of the Healer of Swords calls for clear boundaries and wise detachment. Ooh, you got that sword? Just cut those chains, babe. You are not being chained down by anyone, even your own mental thoughts, all right? You are now in the realm of compassion guided by reason. So balance intellect with empathy and let discernment protect you, not isolate you. So yeah, this doesn't mean, oh, I need to talk to someone. I'm going to go back to that person who injured me just because they're familiar. Like, no, have discernment, babe. You know where to go to heal. All right. So next we get to the Seven of Blades. And I don't know if you noticed, this is the 10, 9, 6 healer, 7 of blades. So I think this is showing that one, healing is not a linear journey. It starts with the 10, which is the end, then it goes backwards to 9 and 6, then it goes forward again to the healer, and then it goes back to the 7. And the 7 of Swords is about deception. And I'm reading this as self-deception. So where are you maybe not being fully honest with yourself? Of course, sometimes there's a time and place to put on a show when you're trying to survive. But, you're coming out of survival mode now. You've been reborn. You're being patient and gentle with yourself, but you're also being honest with yourself. So let me see. What's this got to say? 7? Yes. Not every truth is always, ready for exposure. Subtlety is sometimes needed. But yeah, this also might, be talking about someone that you're struggling to detach from fully. Someone who is maybe, like operating in a little bit of deceit, a little bit of manipulation. They maybe see how much they benefit from you staying the same, staying stuck. And so they might be, kind of manipulating you a little bit to keep you stuck. It might also, though, talk about avoidance, them avoiding being honest and cutting things off, or you avoiding that. So this invites strategic independence. Wisdom lies in knowing what to reveal and what to protect. So you're being challenged to act intelligently but ethically. I think you're ethical enough. So, like, trust yourself. Think for yourself, plan quietly, and act with integrity. So examine your motives before keeping secrets. Use discretion, not deceit. And integrity sustains what cunning alone cannot. Ooh, I love this. I love stuff that's all about integrity. So, yeah, where are you maybe, deceiving yourself? Now's the time to be honest with yourself about things that you maybe haven't allowed yourself to be. So you're very resourceful. And, so in this, I love all these like different knives, by the way. So these are Celtic short knives. These are little needles sewing the cracks. Brass knuckles, we love. Sword of truth. And then kitchen knives. Ooh, grabbing whatever's close at hand to try to protect yourself. I get it. Sometimes deception is our only path to survival, but there's a downside to all this disguise. Is your nervous system running amok? Are you stuck in conspiratorial loops? If so, it's time to communicate directly. Start with yourself. Choose your compromises with precision. So this is an invitation to emotional honesty with yourself, my love. Where is self-deception cluttering your path? Ooh, where is self-deception cluttering your path to healing? All right. Finally, though, when we go through this, non-linear healing journey from the 10 to the 9 to the 6 to the healer to the 7, then we break the loop. We come into the rebel of spirals. You've done all of this letting go, this facing the shadow, this keeping up boundaries as you're going on this healing journey, finding, someone who has, strategy and compassion for you to help you navigate through. And you're, examining self-deception where you're not maybe being fully honest with yourself. And now we go on to the Rebel of Spirals, who is the Knight of Wands. So let me get that. Rebel of Spirals. So you have a lot of ideas and energy, and you're channeling this into strategic material action. So like these 3 cards are all about strategy and action. So stay focused on what is yours to burn. You see this police car burning here? Listen, sometimes these old structures are keeping us stuck, are keeping us trapped and out of our power. And we may need to burn them down, my darling. Yeah, it does happen. So the Rebel of Spirals stays focused on what is hers to burn and has mastered how to say no to anything that will interrupt her process. So as you're on this healing process, you're using these brass knuckles and like, keeping anyone out who is just a little bit too grounding, is trying to keep you a little bit too stuck, a little too tethered to the old ways. You're like, sorry, baby, I got a Molotov cocktail this. This is just not going to work anymore. So, yeah, learn how to say no to anything that's going to interrupt your process of healing and transformation and moving on. Yeah, this card brings about the question of transformative justice. How do we respond to harm and violence without creating more of it? Get strategic. What do you need to set on fire because it cannot be fixed? What needs the gentle tending of breath? So, we arrive back at the 10 of Swords after we have, set fire to something that can no longer be fixed. We're going to have some grief for it. But we don't want that grief to keep us stuck. So we turn towards the sun, which then starts us back on this cycle of healing. And I'm not feeling this cycle like a loop. I'm feeling it like I don't know if this is even the thing. Centrifugal motion. I'm feeling like centrifugal is like when you're like holding someone's hands and you're like spinning in a circle, and you're not like spinning in an exact circle, but you keep like you're like moving, sort of. It's centrifugal motion. It's perpetual bliss. Oof. It's unbeatable. This kiss, this kiss. So, anyway, that's pretty much the message, babe. You're on this healing journey. You're learning to let go of the betrayal, the things that hurt you, the loss, the grief. And you are, shining a light on your shadow, your fears, your anxieties, your guilt, your shame. And you're being gentle with yourself because you're on this healing journey. So you're setting up some boundaries for anyone who's kind of getting in the way of your ascension, of your level up. You see, you've got, I don't know if you can see, she's got a little baby in her belly. This can be, your new identity, your new life, or your inner child. It's literally a child inside of you. And so, yeah, this is helping you transition into this new identity. You pack light, you just got one bag, and the other hand is just, holding on to spirit and letting spirit guide you. Travel, talk therapy, honest conversations guide you. You're coming up with different healing modalities. Now that you're this new identity, you have different things that are going to help you heal. And you want to be strategic and compassionate with yourself and seek out some wise counsel. Again, head over to my website, ShebaNewmanBlount.com. And yeah, make sure you're being honest with yourself, okay? No self-deceit in this healing journey. And in order to, get once you take out all of these mental prisons, these thoughts that are keeping you stuck and preventing you from letting go and moving on, turn towards your passions. Let your passions ignite you and drive you. So yeah, this card is about passion, charisma, and unstoppable drive. Embodies adventure and confidence and urges you to pursue your desires fearlessly. So to get out of this mental prison, pursue your desires. Ignite your passion. What were the things that the things that died out when you were in this old relationship, in this old identity? What did you not feel safe doing or learning about or trying? Now you're free, babe. You can do those things. It's the fire of bold action, innovation, and momentum where purpose meets movement. Ooh, and your healing is your purpose right now. And healing needs movement. So here we are. You are someone who thrives on challenge and excitement. And, you know that progress comes from daring. What is it? Fortune favors the bold. So this is signaling rapid developments in projects, travel, or romance. Whoa. Channel your intensity into mastery, not impulse. Yes. So yeah, you're not like, oh, I'm free. Now I'm gonna go, wild, and I'm gonna like bang everyone and I'm gonna skydive, even though like you could do that. Like, I'm not saying don't do those things because those things are also very fun. But, have clarity around why you're doing these things, and, yeah, channel your intensity into mastery, because you can also just like become your true self. And your true self might be a little more sexually free. This might be now your time to explore yourself. What do you really want? What are you really passionate about? What do you desire? What projects can you now throw yourself into? What travel can you engage in? What romance can you explore now that you have released yourself, let go of this painful ending, this old identity, this, expired thing? So, yeah, act boldly, but ground decisions with foresight, of course, always. Avoid scattering energy. Choose one quest at a time. And passion fuels growth only when balanced with accountability. Ooh, and we're being accountable. We're not deceiving ourselves. We're being honest with ourselves. And yeah, anyway. Oh, God. I've delivered the message. So let me know what you think, okay? Like, comment, subscribe. All right. Love you guys so much. Let me know what you think. I already told you, head on over to seelikesheba.com if you would like a personal reading for yourself, or you'd like to work with me in other ways. We can totally do that, babe. So yeah, go and watch some other episodes if you like, and pass this message along to anyone else who needs to hear this, because I feel like this one is, something that lots of people, lots of us are going through this transition phase. We're going on a healing journey. We're being reborn. We're transforming into people we've never been before. And I forgot what I was saying with that. So I think I should go to bed. I love you guys so much. Yeah, stick around with me and you will see how I became the woman who went from easily receiving $5,000 every month to effortlessly receiving $100,000 every single month. Ooh, and that's because I'm able to let go and allow myself to move on to more peace, to more clarity, to more burning passions. Ooh. And I round up here. We love just Queen of Swords out here, just giving advice, strategy, and empathy. We love. All right, Earth Angels, I love you so much. I'll talk to you tomorrow, okay? Love you. Bye.